Okay.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seed to Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So today we have another high tea with Reverend Denise Roberge. Hello, Denise.
Hello. Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Denise. Denise and I have been friends for, I think, well, I was going to say at least 10 years. That's what I think it is.
At least 10 years.
And multiple.
I was ordained in 2012, and I already had known you for a good 2 years before that.
Right. So, 12 years. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a Jupiter cycle. That's
I think we're 12 years. Yeah.
You know what we have to do, Denise? We
What?
have to go back, because I remember the first time I met you.
I do too.
Was I think, wasn't it at Robin's Nest?
The I Am Church, wasn't it?
No, I think I met you at the Robin's. Oh, that's right. The I Am. You have to, if you can look back to your schedule, because I know you're a Capricorn and you keep a schedule, and you probably could go right back to that schedule. Know exactly where
I was using paper.
But you probably had it written down in like a book, right?
I used to have a calendar book, and I wrote everything in my calendar book. Yes.
Do you still have those? Because I
don't know. I might.
Oh, I was, because I'm just curious, like, what was going on when we met, right? Like, of course, as the astrologer in my, and what was happening to my chart, what was happening to your chart, because it's been a significant, not just a friendship relationship, but it's been a significant business relationship for us.
Yes, very much so.
You had the metaphysical network. I mean, you still have the metaphysical network,
yes,
but it has sort of morphed and it's still, I think, in the process.
Yeah, we're still transitioning a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's there. It's just not it. Like a lot of things to me feels like it's right on the verge of manifesting,
yes,
but it's not quite the time.
Right.
The time isn't quite right yet. And I think that there's a piece in that within yourself, I think, when you just say, I know that this is something that I have to do. I know this is something that is coming. But instead of necessarily like worrying about it, you just know that at the time that it comes is the right time for it. So even if you have a project that you don't feel you're succeeding in, it simply just means that
it's not quite the time.
Not quite the time. Continue to move in the direction of what you're working towards, because we always get what we want.
Can I mention something here that I think is interesting and is probably apropos to where we're at today and what we're talking about with regards to the metaphysical network and other things?
Yeah.
Do you want to know how the metaphysical network was born? It's all about Archangel Michael.
No, really?
He woke me up at 3 a.m. a whole bunch of days in a row to write all the ideas and the structure of the metaphysical network. I got up out of bed and just developed the business through him. He gave me the information. I'm typing. It was definitely a channeled organization. It came in because it was channeled through Archangel Michael, and Archangel Gabriel had a role as well.
Right. And well, of course, Gabriel is the messenger.
Right.
Anyway, right.
Well, Archangel Gabriel's all over MetNet, and as is Archangel Michael. Yeah. MetNet is short for the metaphysical network.
Mike and Gabe are here.
My buddies.
So let's just assume today that Mike and Gabe are here, right?
Oh, they are.
As we speak. I was having this actually pre-conversation with Denise. And I was like, I was just going along one day and I got the message. It's time for another high tea, because we usually do them we usually kind of try to keep it about once a month.
Yeah, but it's only been a couple of weeks this time.
Right, but it's only been a couple of weeks, and there had been a long period between the last one and the one before that. Right. So, we all have to sort of manage our lives in the middle of all of this getting together and talking about the things we love, right?
And sometimes life overtakes fun. And we could call this business, and it is in some fashion, because we are promoting ourselves in a way, and we promote ourselves once it's up. We put our websites up and whatnot.
Right,
but it's really fun. This is really fun, and it's really an extension of our friendship. And I'd also like to say that the angels are all around us because we were having these intensely beautiful and deep and magnificently metaphysical conversations over and over and over again. And somebody, one of us, and I don't remember who, said, we ought to start videotaping these because they're really cool. That came from the angels. That was definitely an angelic message for us to start doing these.
That's right. I remember the conversation. It was a beautiful, I think maybe spring day. And we just got into this really deep conversation. And then which is not unusual for us, honestly.
No.
But I mean, that's the only kind we really have. We don't really have conversations.
We're not frivolous with each other very
well,
often.
I just don't think we relate on that level. Like I have some friends that I can just talk to on a very superficial level, and it's fun, and it's that, and it's this, and it's great, and that's what it is. But when the two of us speak, I think that deep things come through anyway. So I mean,
well, we have a very deep multi-dimensional relationship.
Yes,
we have a connection from other lifetimes. We have a, I always see so many chords between the dimensions and you and me and, you know, a couple of other people. I don't have a million people like you, but we bring out the metaphysical in each other. We bring out the depth in each other. And I think that's why we needed to start doing these videos, because how many people have this magic? In fact, I had a moment.
Actually, I think a lot of people have this magic. They just don't know how to access it. And that's what I think we're here for. We're just here to say this is possible.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes, I agree. So I had a very strong angelic experience this morning, and it wasn't a lot of words. It wasn't a lot of information so much as we're here, we're here, we're here, we're here. And everywhere I looked, I was seeing orbs, and, you know, I'm like, okay, angels are here. They're always here.
Yeah.
I'm maybe not always open to see them. That's the difference. And I think that's the case with all of us, is we all have access to guidance of all types, angelic, source guidance, whatever. We all do, but we block it, we block it, we block it. And I've had a breakthrough again. You know, I've had a million of them, but I had a breakthrough again. And now I'm more centered and aligned and peaceful with myself than I had been. I let go of a bunch of stuff, and you know that I talked to you about that on the phone the other night. And that's when we get more guidance. You know, when we release, every time I release something, I start getting downloads. I wrote an article. It's up on Facebook if anybody wants to see it. It's on my personal page. I had an aha moment that was really helpful, and I wrote about it. And now
I can link the article. You just have to send me the link. I'll put it on the thing.
I could send you
You just have to go to Facebook.
How do I link? It's on my page. Do I link my page, or do I link the post itself?
We'll figure it out.
All right.
I'm sure there's a way.
I think I sent you. I thought I sent it to you, but maybe I sent it to my mother. Oh, well, okay.
Maybe you haven't. I just haven't seen it yet.
We'll do that. And that was about my aha moment about how I'm still trying to subtly and quietly and with great subterfuge try to change people who are acting out in unhealthy ways around me, and what that's all about, how I'm trying to control people. But because I've grown so much, I know better than to like lecture people, and that's what I used to do.
I have an idea. I don't know if this came up in your talk, but if I could share.
Please.
I feel in situations like that, we don't really have control over other people. We barely have, the only person we really have any sense of control over is ourselves.
Yes.
Because this is the view from which we're experiencing life.
We don't even have the right to mess in anybody else's energy field. Everyone has their own free will. Everyone has their own process. Everyone has their own path to wherever it is they're headed. And when we try to interfere by controlling, all they do is get mad. They can't hear us because we're interrupting their flow.
So it's and this whole lesson is so obvious, and so obvious with the situation going on in the Ukraine with Putin, with this
Mr. freaking solar plexus is just willing his way to death and destruction of people he doesn't want to see anymore.
Well, yeah, it's so
controlling.
if you step back from it, like for even further, you can see that it's this energy of the like, what rights do you have to hurt somebody else? You don't really.
I
And
think,
if you're hurting somebody else, who are you really hurting? Right?
well,
You're not, it never makes you feel better when you hurt somebody. Like, you know, it's not, I
someone
mean,
without a conscience can get by with that a little bit easier than people with consciences, but even whether or not Mr. Putin comes to Jesus, let's say, has a moment of an aha moment of, oh, what the heck am I doing here, killing all these people, and decides to change, which is highly unlikely because he's such a malignant narcissist. But even if he did, his ego won't let him admit it.
you know,
And
isn't it interesting that, you know, this whole malignant narcissist sort of theme has come up so prominently, you
it
know,
sure has.
with 4 years of Trump, and now this thing with Putin.
Doesn't Trump look like a child next to Putin now? Like
He
in
always
hindsight?
he always looked like a child to me, so it's hard for
Well,
me.
but in terms of his
Him in
power and his imagined power and his imagined strength, and I don't know. They're both
I
in the wrong way.
never felt like Trump had any power. I thought he was.
Well, he didn't have power to me, but
He had, you know, what his power.
he is seen as a man with power in the general public.
The
many.
reason that he had power is because he had our attention. That's why he had power.
Mm.
And now we're giving a lot of attention to Putin.
And now
so,
a lot of Republicans are backing their stances up, backing away
well,
from their
shouldn't they?
pro-Trump
I mean, what are
stances.
they really
Of
talking
course.
about here? Plus, they're not getting money from Russia anymore because Russia's sanctioned. So
Mhm.
so, you know, when they were getting their money from Russia, then it was, you know, I mean, we could go down that path. Right?
Well, we could, but let's
But-
go back to talking about
but-
angels or something.
Right, but I want to say, you know, we have an opportunity to focus, like we had 4 years of Trump, we're focusing on this malignant narcissism, right? And then now we have this Putin, which is the same theme. It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right now in the sky, Chiron is in Aries. Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer. It's our wounds coming up to be healed. And in Aries, it can be the wound of bullying. And so we have these bullies like in charge. And the only thing that you can do to sort of, you know, I mean, you could try to use force against them, because, and in certain cases you have to, but it's like, the more, it's like that feeds them. Like when you have a malignant narcissist and you keep trying to like, they'll just keep trying to create chaos in your life, so
that's their reaction.
Goes to their chaos. They're like psychic vampires. We get to choose where we want to put our energy. And so what I've been saying for a long time now is this is the most important time for us to be happy. This is the most important time for us to be in joy, because that opens the heart, and that's the light dispels the darkness.
Amen.
It's not focusing on the darkness. And I think that Zelensky knows that. I think I think he's in, you know, talk about angels and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
I think he's definitely angelically connected. And, you know, he's a conduit for us to remember that, you know, that in order to truly be free, we have to be free to be who we are and to follow our own hearts. And when somebody says you can't do that, it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel good. And we deserve better than that. The Ukrainian people deserve better than that. We all deserve better than that.
Yes. Well, and I if we even take it out to another dimension and look down, and from like if we can get outside of our own ego for a minute and look, and not everybody can do this, I understand, but if we take the universal perspective, looking at the planet we can see that angels are at work everywhere. And I was with a client the other day who was very discouraged. Of course, we all are, about what's going on in the Ukraine. And I said, yeah, but you know, if we start focusing on the miracles and the successes and the love, the outpouring of love, and if we can connect our own love with that love, you know, the love of the Ukraine people, the love between the Ukraine people, the love that is making people act in heroic ways. Absolutely. There's so many heroes, you know, people that are saving children and you know, that are putting themselves in harm's way to create a peaceful spot for people to live and to find water and food. And there's a lot of goodness going on. There's a lot of goodness going on. And this is the angelic or the source light coming into the Ukraine. And if we all as a human race collectively focus on every heroic and beautiful and angelic story we hear about all the goodness that's going on, that's what's going to change the war. That's what's going to change. And we're going to squeeze the energy of Putin out by magnifying the love that we're seeing and feeling. I don't know anybody that doesn't absolutely love Zelensky. He's quite a leader. And I believe in my heart and feel very strongly that he's one of Archangel Michael's guys.
Good soldiers.
Yeah, he's a soldier of light. And even though he has to unfortunately use some tools of destruction in order to get the thing across.
Well, he has to use the tools that he has at hand.
But you know, he's got a lot of love tools. He's got a lot of
yes,
absolutely.
Tools.
And
he's
leading with such great love, and he amazes me. Yeah, he gets angry, but that doesn't dispel the love. You know, anger can fuels people's sense of what's right and wrong. You know,
I was watching I was watching I get this was a podcast, Maria Shriver. She was talking to Mila Kunis, who's married to Ashton Kutcher. You know who I'm talking
about? Oh yeah, I know Ashton Kutcher. I don't know this woman.
Yeah, his well, the girl that used to be on the 70s show with him with the dark hair, Mila Kunis. Anyway, she was born in the Ukraine. She was born in Kyiv.
I'm sure I could think of her if I thought.
Yeah, you would know her. But she was talking to Maria Shriver, and her and Ashton, they're married now. They have a foundation. They're trying to get people homed and housed, and food and underwear and baby diapers and all those things that you need, as you're like running away from your home.
Right.
For the things. And she, because she's Ukrainian, she and Ashton, and they're in Hollywood. They're in the acting profession, right? They had gone to, they had met with Zelensky a couple of times for other things, because they were trying to help the Ukraine in other ways, and this, that, and the other thing. And Maria Shriver said, well, are you surprised that he ran for president and that he's who he is? And she said, the reason, like, why did he even want to run for president? And she said, we had that conversation with him, and he said that with him and his wife and Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, right? They're all there having dinner. And he said, look, he said, I have money. He said, I have fame. I have everything. I don't need anything. He said, I want to be the president because the Ukraine is a good country, and I love my country, and I want everybody to know what a fabulous place this is and what fabulous people live here, and they deserve a government without corruption.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said to them. And this was before any of this stuff happened. So I think, as a soul, he is really somebody who loves the earth beneath his feet. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think this is a message on even another level for us, that we have to love the earth beneath our feet. We have to reconnect with this beautiful planet and start treating her better than we do. I think it's all connected. I don't think the Ukrainian thing is separate from the the Green New Deal, from all the things and all the wars. To me, it seems like we have to start moving in the direction of life instead of, you know, always having it to be about death.
I believe we really are. I believe we really are, despite if we only look at things with our human eyes, we're going to tend to want to get irate and get frustrated and all that. And it's human to do that. And it's not wrong to feel horror at horrifying events. That's not a wrong feeling. There are no wrong feelings. There are no wrong feelings. So we've all gone through phases of deep grief over what's happening, and that's normal. I do never want to discount emotions. That, in addition to that, I think if we start to focus on a free world, on a world where everyone,
What you want to see.
focus on what you want to see, focus on every baby having enough food, focus on people being happy, people playing, people having enough of everything that they need to have a good life. This is coming. This is what this war is about. And it's coming. It's coming. So let's focus on what's coming, not what is, because what is, the energy of what is already passed in universal time. What we see has already passed. That the energy of all this division and hatred and autocracy, we're all done with that. People are done with that. The human race is done with that. It's gone. It's past. So let's look at what's happening now. Recovery. People are recovering. Look at all the hundreds of thousands of people.
People are uncovering. They're uncovering.
I like that too. That's good. Uncovering. And look at Poland's taken in 300,000 refugees, and a whole bunch of the Western-ish Central European nations have taken in so many people. And the United States is planning to take in 100,000 over their normal 120,000 a year in order to accommodate Ukraine. So the hearts of all the countries are opening up. And that can only help everyone. That can just bless everyone. And that's angelic influence. That is the love of the universe flowing through to people saying, what feels good to do? And if we all focused on what feels good, even in the micro, what feels good for me to do today? I think I'm going to eat this healthy thing, or I think I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go out and play in nature. Or what it's not, nothing is, like you said, everything's connected. How I treat myself and how happy or not happy I am makes a difference. It makes a difference. And I can connect with the larger love energies, or I can connect and get really focused on me and shrink, but that's okay too, because the more we shrink, the more expansion comes later if we're growing. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I saw the cutest video yesterday. It was a refugee, a little boy, going into a preschool in Spain somewhere. I think it might have been Madrid. And he was introduced to all his classmates, and all his little classmates came over and gave him a hug. It was the sweetest thing. So all these little kids hugging him.
Oh, how sweet. I saw a video this morning, and I don't know if it's along the same lines, but it touched my heart. And I think it says something important. There was this little baby kitty. She was this big. And there was something on this really high cat. Well, for her, I mean, she's 3 inches tall. So,
right. Yes.
There was a kid.
Relatively high.
For her, it was like trying to jump on top of the New York,
Empire State Building.
Empire State Building. And this little tiny kitty was doing the best she could. And she was jumping up and jumping up and jumping up and aiming for that counter. And she couldn't get more than 6 inches off the ground. The counter was 3 or 4 feet higher than her. And it just, her heart was determined that she was going to get higher and higher and higher. And I think that that's where we're at. Most of us are determined to go higher in terms of our own ascension, in terms of our own personal growth, in terms of making this a better planet, and realizing that we're guided. And if we listen to guidance, things are going to go well. Things are going to go at least improve, if not get better, like quick.
It's interesting because when the Ukrainian situation began, I put an altar in the house, and we've had the candle burning at that altar ever since. And I picked some Archangel Michael cards because we have our picture of Archangel
Yes,
Michael
that's a
on that
beautiful altar,
altar,
by the
right?
way.
Yeah, thank you. And I picked Archangel Michael cards because like that seemed obvious. And
Mhm.
it said not to worry because this situation has already been sorted out.
Yep.
Pretty much. You have to have faith in the angels. And I really do. I mean, I think the fact that Zelensky is even still alive is an angelic miracle.
It is a miracle. And
It's
it is a
people's
miracle.
better, for whatever reason, people's better natures are coming up because they know what's wrong is wrong. And we have to say no to what's wrong. We have to say no to, no, we're not going to hurt people anymore. And it has to come as there's been a lot of wars in a lot of places. I mean, certainly the war in Syria has been going on for how long? And the war in Yemen, which we're a part of as the United States, helping the Saudis, massacre people who are, relatively defenseless. It's the civilians who are getting hurt in that war, So, but what this particular war does is it brings the true feelings of what these people are going through to the people who actually have the power to change things in the higher realms. So in that way, that's helping. But ultimately, the situation is a grassroots movement. And that grassroots is us. We are the roots. And we
Yes.
have to grow in love. And as we grow in love, there won't be a reason for a war in the Ukraine. There won't be a reason for war anywhere. There won't be a reason for anybody to hurt anybody.
Right.
Right? It's just like, it's okay. You can open up to love. It doesn't make you less. It actually makes you more.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
and because isolation is, one of the reasons why we've come to this such a, I think, sharp point in the energy is because of isolation. And when you're isolated, you're just within your own mind and your own thoughts. And that's when you can really talk yourself into anything. And it's usually a bad idea. And I think that's what happened to Putin. It's just a bad idea. It was always a bad idea. Now it's really a bad idea. And people are going to push. And I really think that this whole power over dynamic is being stopped in its tracks. And on the other side of that is an amazing world that we won't even believe that we're part of. We won't even believe what's possible in that world. We see that world, you and I, on occasion, especially when we're at those points in our lives where we're like, oh my God, I can't move another step. And we see the reality of things. We see that it's not this, but that it's something, that this is just something we have to step over or move through or release and let go. Right? I mean,
Yes.
both of us have had these periods of time this year, and the year
Oh,
is
yeah.
relatively young, where we've either, for me, my thing is to hide out. My thing is to hide out, and yours is different. The way that you have to process your things, part of it is hiding out because, but it is like, confronting certain things that need to be looked at. And I think that, I think we've both been going through that process of, I mean, how do you feel? Does that resonate?
Yeah, it resonates a lot. And the beauty of, I'm going to call it contrast, because that's a word I use a lot. Contrast is when we're feeling badly about something, or we're feeling badly about ourselves, or we're worried about something, or we have a problem that needs to be solved. That, the difficulties in life, that's contrast. And if I like contrast because it's kind of a neutral word. It's
I
not good,
like
it's
it.
not bad.
I think we should use it from now on.
We don't judge. It's not a thing to judge. It's just a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a thing.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's a Gemini thing, by the way. Contrast is a Gemini.
Oh,
You need contrast in order to see two separate things, but nothing is really separate.
right. Well, an experience of contrast is something that brings us down, makes us feel fearful or unworthy or not lovable or something. It kicks into some of our maybe our old tapes or whatever. But every time we have contrast due to the law of polarity, that's the universal law called polarity, everything has two sides. Everything, and we all exist along the continuum. And there are times when the law of polarity, we just succumb, just like gravity. We can only defy gravity if we're in a space capsule. You know what I'm saying? We can't defy gravity as human beings. But sometimes we try. We know people that do these, high wire acts, and they think they're going to defy gravity and they're not going to fall. And maybe many times they don't, but sometimes they do. So, it's like believe in gravity, folks, believe in that because it'll keep you safe. Well, the law of polarity shows us that we always have choices. We can go toward the negative and really go deep, because it's going to happen anyway. As human beings, we're going to have contrast. It's going to happen. That's part of why we're here. But the beauty of contrast is that as deep as we go into our contrast is how far we will grow from it. So when we allow ourselves to feel very deeply and feel all our feelings and experience all of our painful aha moments as well as our happy aha moments, and we just go, yeah, that's true about me. Oh, okay. That caused me pain. Maybe next time I could do something. But that's what helps us climb out. The pain suddenly becomes so unbearable that we start to say, all right, something has to be done. What can I do? And then when we go into action mode, and we start thinking more positive about a plan, let's say, or something that picking up a new spiritual tool or talking to a friend and working things out and releasing the power of the contrast, the energy of the contrast, then we start to allow the law of attraction in. And the law of attraction says that which is like unto itself is drawn. So every time I overcome something, I'm opening myself up to the law of attraction. And I know that the angels are involved in that somehow. I would be hard pressed to describe the connection, but I do know that in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 20th dimensions, that when we open ourselves up to the possibility of goodness and peacefulness and happiness and serenity and all that stuff, all the cooperative components start swirling, and our angels and our guidance starts putting it all together, and happiness exists and good things happen and abundance abounds. But we have to do it step by step. As human beings, we're very linear. So we don't necessarily go from 0 to 90. We'll go from 0 to 40 to 50 to whatever, and to eventually to full manifestation through the law of attraction. But if we can't get ourselves up to at least neutral, meaning okay, neutral is just okay. Doesn't have a lot of momentum. It doesn't move us too far forward, but we're not down. As long as we're not down, we have the pot and start thinking happy thoughts, reaching out for guidance, doing things that are healthy for us and make us feel better and all that. Then the law of attraction can grab us and bring us forward. So it's okay to go down.
It's like a sea of neutrality.
Yeah. So we want, and I'm flying kind of high right now. So this is fun for me. And I know that right now, today, I know, and I'm watching the signs. And this is one of the things that I teach my clients: watch for the signs. Who's around you? What's going on around you? How are you getting things done? Do you have a dream? And are you making any steps toward completing that dream? If you're moving forward in any kind of direction, you got to celebrate that, because then that gets magnified. What you pay attention to expands, right?
That's right.
So anyway, that's what I'm advocating for in terms of all the wars in the world. Let's look at the heroes. Let's look at the magic moments. Let's look at all the hundreds of millions of people whose lives are being saved. And let's pray for the families that are suffering. Let's send them love so that we can maybe lift them up a little bit, even into neutrality. Maybe we can help with our beauty and energy and all that, and with the angels' help. Now, I was wondering if we wanted to pull any cards today.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to switch gears. Do you?
Why don't you said you had an angel deck?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you pull some cards from the angel deck?
Okay.
Because and while you're shuffling, Denise and I were talking about how we get messages from the angels, how it comes through. And I have 2 distinct ways. One is that it just is here right there. It's like I get the memo comes down.
Yeah, you just know, inner knowing. Yeah.
And
Weird
the other
sentence.
way is there's a physical manifestation. I know there's an angelic presence when one single hair on the top of my head stands up and they pull it. They actually literally pull it. It's like,
Oh,
yeah, they'll do that. And I can start to feel my hair. Like I get hair things, like suddenly like will rise up.
isn't
And
that interesting?
that's
Some
how I
people
know
get,
it's
some people
angelic.
get cool. They say they feel, or feel a cool breeze.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel that. I'm feeling so I really feel
or get the
the
chills.
angelic energy coming in. I've been, have you been cold lately?
Yes, I have.
I have been frigid. I do like I can't, I sit in front of the
My body temperature
fireplace.
is always like 96.5 or 97. Yeah,
I
I'm
kind of
running
run
low.
low on the body temperature anyway. I think that's like maybe a little bit of thyroid, because you can run low on thyroid if your
Yeah, I
thyroid is
have low
low, right?
thyroid.
And that reminds me, I'll have to mention that to a friend of mine who's having some tests done. I wonder if she had her thyroid done, because she's having kind of weird thyroid issues. Anyway, symptoms. All right, sorry. That came in and went out. I'll have to call that person. Yeah, so coldness, a lot of like in front of the fireplace almost every night, covered in blankets, and I'm not sick, but
Me
I'm
either.
cold. I feel like there's just
I
this
have an
cold
electric
energy
throw
around.
on my, I have an electric throw blanket on my couch, and I have to put 2 more blankets on top of it to get warm sometimes.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've never, and it's cold out, but it's not like cold
Well,
out,
part of my, I have to own up. Part of my problem, my, not problem, my issue with being cold is that I have to have windows open, no matter how cold it is outside. Um, and I
That's
have
from
floor heaters.
that's from
So,
your past life when you died in the sarcophagus.
oh, maybe I have to have windows open. If it's really bad, I'll just open them this much. But if it's 35 to 50, they'll be half open. And if I get cold, I put my space heaters on. I know it's silly, but that's how it is. And I pay the electric bill. So, yeah, well, and there are lots of other signs. One of the things that's been happening to me, I've been on a food plan, a healthy food plan for a while, since October. And the last few days, and I know this is because I'm ascending, and I know that I'm viewing food in a different way, and I know that I'm absolutely in love with Mother Earth and all of her creations. And I'm also very, very grateful to the people that assist Mother Earth in bringing all this food to me. But I make the simplest meal and it tastes like heavenly. I made a simple grilled chicken breast, turnip, and a half a baked potato. I was eating that with great relish. It tasted like pizza. I don't know. It was the most delicious meal I'd ever eaten. And so I mean, really, if I think about it, would I like a banana sundae, a banana, what do they call the banana split? Would I like that better? Yeah, but now that I'm not eating sugar, everything else tastes better. But I don't think it's only that. I think that this is what have you ever gone outside? This is another sign for me. Doesn't happen often. There are times when I've stepped outside and felt like I was in the Wizard of Oz because everything looked like it was in Technicolor.
Yes.
The sky was bluer and the clouds were whiter and the trees were greener. And I remember several times looking around going, this is the same yard I've always lived in. Why does it feel so, same neighborhood, same trees? Why? It feels, it's magnified. And that's when I know either the angels are all around me, helping me to see from a higher perspective, helping me to see the beauty, or I'm just in alignment. And when you're in alignment, everything is nicer. Everything is better. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing though, when it happens.
I think what's really happening is we're dropping density.
Yes.
Like we're just, and so we're not as enmeshed in the darkness. Like, it's not that darkness is necessarily a bad thing. We need contrast.
We need contrast.
We need this. But
in order to expand, we have to have
in order for us
contrast.
to be aware of something and expand our consciousness.
Yes.
So as long as we're seeing it, like we're really seeing things, and now we get to make better choices, I think. And that's really, I think, what most you know, whether it's happening in our own lives or whether it's happening on the world stage.
There is no difference because we're all one, right?
Right. All these like nuclear options. How about like us, like, you know, when a nuclear bomb goes off, it's like the energy that holds the world together is broken, and then we have this huge sort of explosion. We have access to to be able to like wake up to things without having to blow things up. I mean, we don't have to blow things up. I guess we could blow our.
Speaking of nuclear explosions, I want to tell you about a very brief experience I had where I think I left my body. I have a lot of scars on my legs because I've had a lot of wounds. I've got this thing, this very thin skin, chronic venous, and some of the whatever. I have this thing, and I've gotten a lot of boo-boos, bad, like had to go to wound care, had to have wound vacs, you know, all kinds of stuff, a whole bunch of them over the years. Like my legs, I look like a war zone. I was looking at my legs one day. I was putting on my stockings or something, I don't remember. And all of a sudden, I kind of went up here someplace. And I looked at my body and I was like, this is what happened in Hiroshima. And I remembered Hiroshima. And I remember looking at all these other people with all the same scars as I had as a result of the nuclear explosion. And I don't know if I was in it or I witnessed it or what. I don't really know what my connection is, but obviously I have a connection to nuclear fallout because I saw it on my body.
I'll have to look at that in your chart. I'll have to put your chart up against the.
There's a huge connection between me and World War II, and I think there's more than one, because every soul, like we have an oversoul,
right?
And our oversoul has offshoot souls, and we can have parallel lives. It can be 5 people from this one oversoul living on the planet at any given time, or we can have 2 on the planet and 3 in the ether or whatever. There are many, many, many dimensions and aspects of ourselves. And I know one of my aspects or dimensions was at Hiroshima, or however they say that. And I also know that I was in a concentration camp. I've had visions of myself there. And I don't spend a lot of time looking at past lives because really the current one is what I'm here to do. This is my job right now, but being as open to the dimensions as I am, this stuff happens, you know.
Well, and is it really a past life? Because there is no time outside of this realm. There's no time.
Well, true. Everything happens at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, and everything happens at the same time. There
really is
no linear time.
I mean, it could just be all parts of ourselves that we're experiencing. Those lives are parts of ourselves that we've experienced. That's why we can empathize. I think, as an empath, you can empathize with the situations that people find themselves in because you've been there on some.
I did meet one woman, who was a victim of the Hiroshima bombing. She was my mother's uncle's wife. So she was like a generation or 2 behind me, but I was young enough that I was able to meet her. Her whole back looked like a quilt. She had to have everything. What do they call it when you take a piece of skin, grafted? She had to have skin grafts all over her back and shoulders and arms because it was all blown off. Her flesh was blown off.
Wow.
And it had to be rebuilt. And I'll never, as long as I live, forget that. I'll never forget that visual. And I connected with her in that moment. And I went up and I saw myself there too, way back then. So that was 20, 30 years ago that happened.
It's so interesting that you should say that, because when I was young, the most terrifying thing that ever happened to me was I was walking into a drugstore with my father, and there was a boy standing outside the drugstore who had obviously been a burn victim. And he was all like scarred and burned and stuff. And it scared the bejesus out of me. I had nightmares about that kid. And he might have even been begging. And I think, my father probably gave him some money, but it was like just in New Jersey. It wasn't like we were in a third world country or anything. but it just scared me. And and even as a little kid, I was always afraid of burning up in a fire. Like that was my biggest fear, that I wouldn't be able to get out of the fire. So,
You know, I had that fear when I went away on vacation. I was afraid the house was going to be burnt down when I got home. When I was a little girl, couldn't wait to get home to see if my house burnt down.
yeah,
Isn't that weird? This is not all from this lifetime, because I've never seen a devastating fire with my own eyes.
right. I
I've seen
know.
some car fires, but not house
But
fires.
I mean, that whole, like, it's almost like a relive. Like, it's like the thing that scares you the most is like, it's like a remembrance of
Right.
something that you yourself went through.
Do you know what I'm being called to do, if it's okay with you?
Sure.
Um,
Hey, who's calling? Is it Archangel Michael?
well,
Archangel
it's the
Daniel?
Ascended Masters. They want
Okay.
to speak first, and
All right.
I was just
Let's step
told.
back. I'm stepping back. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm not asking. I just
No,
want to
I
make sure it's
understand.
okay with you.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
I'm going to pick some cards from the Ascended Master deck, and I'm going to pick some cards from the Angelic deck, because I would like to see what the Ascended Masters have to say. And for anyone that doesn't know what an Ascended Master is, it's a being that lived on this planet many hundreds of thousands of times and came to the end of their sort of karmic cycle and decided to stay within range of the planet in order to help all souls ascend. They're here around us, helping us, guiding us, giving us messaging.
Yeah. They're
And
kind of like operators to higher dimensions.
yes, they are.
They keep the connection
they're
open.
committed to the planet. They're committed to helping us all. And angels have never been embodied, with some caveat. Like Metatron and Sandalphon were thought to have been
mortal first,
and then became archangels. So who knows? We're all masters in progress. That's what I'd like to say right now. We're all masters in progress. So I know I'm a master.
We light up our life. We
Amen.
give us hope to carry on. We light up the dark.
I don't know the song.
Well, I made it up. I mean, it's like an old song, but I changed the words. So.
Oh, I see.
Light up my life. You don't remember that song?
Oh, I remember the song.
They
but
played it like a million gazillion times. So you want to rip
light
your hair
up
out.
my life, you can. Yeah, I just don't remember the words.
You
I know the
give me
song.
hope to carry on. You light up my days and make my heart or soul. I forget. I'll have to look it up and
Look it up and sing us the full version the next time.
Oh, next time you're gonna get it today. Go ahead.
Okay.
I deal those cards. I'm gonna
all right,
you guys.
all right. Just give me a minute. I want to tune in.
Yes, please do.
All right. This is absolutely applicable to what we were talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first card is from Krishna, and this is the card. And the message from this card says, find the blessings in your current situation. So magnify the blessings in your current situation and more will come. That's very similar to what we were talking about already. So that's Krishna. And this card is Avalokiteshvara. She's a Hindu goddess, and it says, see the other person's point of view. So when we step outside of ourselves, we're able to have more compassion for others. So this is a card of compassion, and knowing that you can't really ever judge what another person is thinking, feeling, or doing, because we're not in their shoes unless we really try to understand, and compassion can open that door. Persistence. This is a Celtic god named Luge. Stick with it. Don't give up. Stay with the plan of expansion or ascension or whatever it is that you're on. Look at the power in that one. That's a powerful card. And I'm also getting from this card that Luge is very much a part of the healing and the blessing of the refugees. He's really there. He's not giving up on the Ukrainian people. He knows. And if you notice the yellow, that's one of the colors of the Ukraine. Yeah. So I would guess that he is a powerful figure in the Ukraine. So those are the 3 ascended masters. Now I want to take out 3 cards from the angels, but I could resonate with those cards for sure. Okay. And while you look up, you light up my life. Music. In the spheres where the angels live, there is all sacred geometry and music. And actually they are melted together in the higher realms. So when we bring in music, when we channel music, when we listen to music, when we play music, music connects us to our highest self. So it's highly recommended that people do whatever it is with music that they love, whether it's listening, playing, singing, dancing, whatever it might be. Bring in more music to raise your vibration and to be open to receiving what the angels have to give you in terms of guidance. Music is a conduit to the spheres and a conduit to the multidimensional parts of ourselves. You're gonna love this one, Vicki. The angels of nature. This is a card of the angels of nature. So this beautiful angel is all entwined and her energy is swirling around nature. And every time we love something in nature, which you do every single day, Vicki, we are connecting with the nature angels and the sylphs and the fairies and the leprechauns and the elves. They're all angels too. Yeah. So this is another way to completely help raise our own vibration and raise the vibration of the planet, is to adore the mother, adore and let ourselves bask in the energy of the natural world. And that includes loving animals, that includes pets, that includes houseplants, that includes gardens, that includes flower arrangements and pots and whatnot. So everything that we do that has to do with mother, if we do it with great love, we're magnifying our purpose on the planet, and we're helping to ripple the natural energy of the angels in the planet and open them up, open doors for them to flow into, because they have to be invited. Angels are very polite. They don't interfere with free will. So if we connect with them and then they give us permission to flow their energy elsewhere and all around the planet. So this is our interconnectedness card. That's one of our interconnectedness cards as humans. Oh, this is one we talked about already. Surrender and release. See the God force coming into the top of the head, and the circle of life and eternity. This is an eternal card. And this is the ball is the heavy burdens that we carry. No, that's not a ball, that's a water jar. And the tighter we grip those things that we worry about, the things that that concern us, the things that drain us of energy, the more light will come in and the more the water jar will get filled. But we have to let go and put the water jar down in order to get the water. We cannot be carrying heavy loads and receive all the gifts that we have available to us. So surrender, give up what no longer serves in order to release it and to receive what we are in fact desiring and wanting for ourselves and the planet.
Is that urn that she's carrying broken? Is that why the water's coming out?
Yes. Now that's the other part. I think that's part of the message, is that if our energy is leaking, that means we need to let go of carrying it. We have to put that thing down and we need to fix it so that we don't leak our energy. The energy is always being full, always being refilled. But it's just such a struggle to keep draining it and having to fix it and draining it and having to fix it. So let's just keep it fixed as much as we can.
Well, or let's let it just go completely. Like if you don't need the broken thing, why not just
let go of it and get a new one?
Whatever, that, or maybe you just don't need the system anymore. You don't, if it's broken, you know, some things are worth fixing and some things aren't. And I think that that we have to be aware of that. And I think that, you know, there's that as well. But it's interesting because that particular angel looks a little like the Aquarius, right? The water bearer for Aquarius.
Yes, it's could very well be a connection. There's probably in the minds of the artist, I'm sure there was a connection there. So
Yeah.
let's beware of what we're holding on to that's leaking our energy and let go of it. And then we get to be even more informed by the upper dimensions, and we get to treat the earth better as well. We just get healthier.
So the angels are about release, letting
This thing-
go.
a lot of angelics are helping us do that, like letting go of what no longer serves.
Right.
And
But in this case, in the case of the 3 angel cards that you picked,
Mhm.
it was release,
Music,
music, right? That was the one.
nature, and surrender and release. Now,
So, all right, so music, I will sing this to you.
thank
I'm only gonna sing the chorus because that's really the one I think that's important. It says, and you light up my life, you give me hope to carry on, you light up my days and fill my nights with song.
Yay, Dr. Vicki.
I think I was in the wrong key, but I did the
Magnificent.
best I could in the wrong key, guys. So
Magnificent. And that's a very poignant message, and certainly apropos to what we're talking about.
that was the right key in a different dimension. It's all right. It's all good.
It's all good. Connecting, you know, singing is whether I'm not that's not one of my well-honed skills, let's put it that way. But I love to sing, and singing creates a vibration inside the body, and it also helps us connect to the spheres, you know, the music of the spheres. Even if we don't sound like the spheres, we're still connecting. So singing is so healthy. It's such a good thing to do for us, for ourselves, to release. It helps us to release. It helps us. Some songs make us cry. Some songs make us want to dance. Some songs bring us joy. It's all good. It's all good. Music is definitely a healing practice. So that's it for now. I wanted to, let me pick one more ascended master, because I have a feeling there's one more that wants to come through, and I don't know who it is, because they didn't let's see, just one. This is cool. Come out of the closet. Amaterasu. And it doesn't only mean with your sexuality, although it includes that.
Yes.
We're only as sick as our secrets. And when we're burying and hiding our secrets, and we're burying and hiding aspects of ourselves that we think might not be approved by other people, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're not able to hold as much light. Secrets keep us more in darkness. So let go. That doesn't mean you have to tell the whole world everything. What that means is you have to just learn. You don't have to do anything. It would behoove you to learn how to become more comfortable with yourself in whatever way that means. And if that means speaking out, if that means activism, if that means telling your family, I'm sorry, this is how I want to live, and you can take it or leave it, whatever it might mean.
Freedom to be yourself.
Yeah, so letting go of the secrets is freedom to be yourself. Perfectly said. All right. That's it. I'm done.
All right. Well,
Thanks, Dr. Vicki.
this was really quite a special little get together. We'll have to thank Angel Gabriel and Archangel Michael that they pushed this. We'll see where it takes us. But this was a lot of fun, Denise. I really appreciate your time and the work that you do on this planet. I think it's very important, and you know, of course, you're very diligent because of all that Capricorn. So I can appreciate
diligent that. Yeah, and this is a diligent Capricorn trying to give up the illusion of control.
There you go.
That's what my article, the latest article on Facebook, and I hope it gets published in one of my magazines too. Not my magazines.
I understand.
It's called a codependent empath's illusion of control.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's about letting go. It's about surrendering and letting go and live and let live, and how I have had to learn how to do that. It's been a lifelong lesson, because I really want to tell everybody how to live their life. That would be, but they don't listen. So after getting bashed in the head a million times, I've had to learn, let go.
Well, I guess on a certain level, you just have to apply it to yourself. Because again, there's that situation where the only person we really have any control over is ourselves.
So true. So
right.
true.
And it's, all that outside, trying to make people do or be what you want them to be is
foolishness.
It's foolishness.
Amaterasu just told us that. The Ascended Master, she just told us that.
The core of who we are is really inside our own heart. And the possibilities, when I talk about this stuff, I really feel like it seems so simple. Just do what you love what you do, open your heart, be who you are. A lot of us don't know who we are. That's when, getting readings and getting
that's a process though. And it's okay if you don't know who you are, because
sometimes sometimes but unless somebody else mentions it to you, you think it's just your imagination. Oh, I just thought that was my imagination.
When I first started,
no, that's who you really are.
34 years ago or whatever it was, when I learned how to read cards, and I learned how to tune in, basically. After I finished with those classes, I went to some classes for about 8 years. Actually, I had a teacher who was phenomenal. She knew everything: astrology and mediumship and card reading and palm reading and all kinds of stuff. So I learned a lot. I had a really broad education in metaphysics and healing and stuff. So anyway, I got out of that class and I said, well, I love the cards. That was the thing that I picked right up on in the class. That was the thing that called me. And I started reading for people for free. And I did that for quite some time. And then I was doing well enough, and I was getting feedback. I was getting really positive feedback. I said, well, I think I'm going to start charging $5 a reading. And I did that for years. I charged $5 a reading. And then little by little, people are saying, what the heck are you doing charging $5 a reading? So I had to prove to myself that I had a gift. And it took me a while. But Capricorns are okay with those steps in the right direction.
No,
That's a good thing.
I have my own Capricorn. I have my Saturn in Capricorn, which incidentally sits on your Mercury, which incidentally, both of those things are being activated by Pluto right now. So these conversations that we have are very significant on some level. I don't know what level. I don't know where they're going to take us or what they're going to do. But I knew when we started High Tea that this is something that had to manifest itself, and we would just put it out there, and we weren't really sure where this was going to go or what was going to happen with it. And I think it's certainly a great way to spend time with you, so that's always a plus, right?
Yes,
so at least we know once a month we'll get together, even if we can't get together in the same room or in the same town. But beyond that, I feel like this was really something that time had come, and that there was a lot of really good information that would come out from this union.
Well, I feel very blessed. I'm blessed to know you, and I'm blessed for all of our various endeavors and connections, and all the times you hauled all your big boards all over the place for me. So I
miss doing those big boards. Now I have to do it on the computer. It's not as much fun. But hey, did you see my paintings of my zodiac signs?
They are absolutely beautiful. I don't know. You keep saying I'm not an artist, but you are an artist. Just say it. I am an artist.
I guess. I mean,
you're a different type of artist than Michael, but that's okay. You're a soul.
Well, you know what it is. I have these bursts of artistic, like I did those paintings. Like most of the paintings, at least the backgrounds of the paintings, were done in one day. And then I know, it's just like in like 2 days I was, and then like, so for 3 days I'm doing all this art, like, And then like the next day, I'm like, oh my God, my back, it hurts. And my husband's like, I told you that you were doing too much. I'm like, I was painting. He goes, it's a lot of work. You're like, mixing colors and
Well, and you're bending over and back and
right,
this way and that.
exactly. And it's
Yeah.
stuff I'm not used to. So.
Well, you're brilliant. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, I haven't mentioned this to you before, is that those are channel paintings. Those are soul paintings. That's a different style of art. You can't compare that style of art with any other type of style of art. It's a different thing. It's coming from your intuition. It's coming from your guidance. It's coming from source. It's coming from angels. It's coming from wherever it's coming from. And you're the conduit of that beauty. And you're able to see those colors so clearly. The colors amaze me. The colors are really amazing to me.
The interesting feeling about that whole project was that it was all I did was take paint and paint what the energy that I felt. They were energy paintings.
You channeled.
Right. I was just like, paintings. I was like, Sagittarius, big, let's go this way, and Aries, let's do this, and Leo was like, so it was like the energy in the painting is the energy I was feeling as I was thinking about the zodiacal signs. So
totally intuitive.
I want everybody to do it. One of the things I would love to do is I would love to get together with artists / astrologers and like really just like do a series and have that be a thing. Like, I don't know, I was watching, I like to watch furniture restoration videos.
For you and I differ, girlfriend.
Yeah, I watch those. I like dog grooming videos. There's certain videos I like to watch. They calm me down. There's something about the process that calms me down. And they have this like ugly duckling challenge that all the different channels like, and so they pick the ugliest piece they can get from like the whatever. Where do you get Salvation Army? You go to Salvation Army, right? You get a Goodwill or something, you get like a piece that's old and rickety, and they fix it and then they redo it, and some paint and some have to redo the thing, but it's just so they take something and they see like the beauty in it, but it's like a contest between all these different furniture people that do this. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if like all these like astrologer / artists, creatives like thought about the energy of the zodiac
without the competition,
like creating right? Like not really a competition, but see how people experience it. Like what is Aries to you? What is Leo to you? I want to do that. I want to
do it. That sounds great.
Yeah, but I think it's going to have, well, I don't know what it's going to have to be. I'm open.
There you go.
I think that whole thing was an opening for that as well. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes, but
I'm excited for you. I do a little painting, but I only do soul paintings that nobody else understands.
Well, you don't even have to paint. I mean, you could sew if you were, can you imagine a quilt?
I could be a good sewer, but I don't like it.
I mean, the quilt with the zodiacs, I would be like out of my mind.
I would be a part of that. I would be if you wanted to do a community quilt kind of thing and pick 12 people and everybody do their own sign or something. I don't know.
That would be cool, right? But you would have to actually know how to sew, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how to sew, but that would be cool too. See all these great ideas we're having.
I hope we're inspiring people to get started on their
Okay, so anybody who knows anything about this, please help us. And we'll figure it out. If you guys want to take the lead, we'll go along with you. We're not, we don't have, like we said, we don't have to be in control of everything, just a few things. Right.
Well, this has been just so joyful and so fun. I really enjoyed this one today. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I feel blessed, and
I think we talked a long time, so thank you.
If you want to cut some of this out, do you edit these at all?
No, God, no. That would take some talent and ability. No, I just put them out. Sorry, guys.
We did go long.
I can paint, but that's it.
This is how, just so everybody knows, this is how it is when I go to Vicki's house or we do something together. We just go on and on and on.
Yeah, it sort of evolves.
Yeah, things go from one thing to the next.
There's usually a theme, but it usually evolves to all kinds of things. But
yes,
I'm going to let you go, Denise. Thank you again for joining me, and for everybody who's still with us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you.
I would like one person to comment that they listened to the end of this, because I wonder how many people still will listen to the end.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, when we put this out. Well,
yeah. Let us know if you watch the whole thing.
Me and Denise are listening. So, so everybody, I want to say goodbye. I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday here. What is it? The 25th today of March. And so everybody have a good weekend. Remember to stay in the light, continue to shine your light, your own personal light, continue to keep your heart open to the joy and the sorrow that comes, because we're feeling our way through this, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Whatever it brings up in you is what needs to come up for you. You need to look at it. If it becomes overwhelming, don't watch it. Stop. Take the time. Go out into nature, as the angel said. Sing a song, go dancing, do something that's going to make you feel joy. And whatever, and in my case, it's furniture restoration videos. And now my new love are donkeys, anything that has to do with braying donkeys. I love it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh God, they're so cute. They're so cute. I love them. They're so expressive and funny, and they're hysterical, and they'll bite you too, which I think is good, because people, I mean, look at Zelensky, right? He was a comedian, and now, now he's the leader of the world conscience right now, I think.
He really is. God bless his soul.
And he is certainly, and you said to me that his heart comes right through his face. It's like,
it does.
Everything is right there, right in his face.
Yeah, he is who he says he is. He's authentic, and his heart and his love come through every pore of his body and his face. Yeah.
And he's looking tired, so he needs our love.
Yeah.
He needs our love.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, all the viewers. I really had fun today. Thanks. Take care, everybody.
All right, everyone. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.